Okay.
Hi, I'm Jim from No Worries RV. What?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jim from No Worries RV.
Oh yeah, you do.
I'm Jim from No Worries RVing. Today we're going to replace our existing bathroom exhaust fan with a Maxx Air fan. Right now we currently have a standard, normally equipped bathroom fan. It's got the, this looks like about a 6-inch blade here. That it's going to get a manual crank, which is fine. We're going to leave that, but kind of noisy, and there's not a whole lot of airflow. This model of camper, this is a Apex Nano 213, 2019,
right.
213 RDS.
Right.
But the new models actually have a fan right here over the sink, basically, and
yeah, they came out what 2020, the year after we bought this trailer, with the new
with another fan
design with the second fan.
And on theirs they put either a Maxx Air fan or a Fantastic fan right here. Ours, of course, doesn't have that. We could add one here, and it really wouldn't be too hard. But since we already have the bathroom fan and a hole there, we're just going to leave it go at that. And the model we chose to use is a Maxx Fan Plus by Maxxair. It's a model 4000. It's got a white lid and it's got a manual interior crank. There's no no remote on it or anything like that. And it's reversible, so you can either bring air in or air out. So that's today's project, and I just measured. We ordered a 14 by 14, which they call the standard size. So we just measured our opening, and we were lucky that we ordered the right one. So let's get started here. First thing we need to do is remove this trim ring that goes around our existing fan, and just 4 screws on that to remove it, just to see what we have in here as far as wiring and sealing goes.
So you got your screwdriver? Oh, you got your drill bit. I don't know which way. Light? No light. I think light's better. Oh, we've never removed this before. Not too bad. Okay, I'll take it. Ah, my fingers are in there. Ouch.
So the trim ring removed, we can see, and this is one thing I really appreciate from Coachman. They leave a lot of wiring. Everywhere we've been so far, there's extra wire. And when you're trying to make changes to your camper, that is a really nice feature to have. I mean, they did not skimp on the wiring here. We got all kinds of extra to work with. It's going to be easy to rewire this fan in. So that's really nice. And looks like just the 2 connections going to it. This one just goes on through, and this one actually gets connected to it. Like the fan has just a black and white wire. So pretty simple. So I just remove these 2 connections, and I should be good as far as connecting the new fan goes. And just tuck all this wiring back up in here.
So can you disconnect it now and put the cap on it so they don't bump each other?
Yeah, I'll disconnect them and put a cap on them.
Okay, sounds like a good idea. Okie doke. Pan around.
I have to go outside and get caps.
You can't put the same cap that's there?
No, these are not caps. These are crimped on connector.
Why don't you go get the caps first, so they don't bump each other while you're... That would be my idea.
I can do that.
I just don't want to see a short, or you get shorted. Zip.
I'm gonna hit the road to see what I can see. I'm gonna hit the road to be what I can be. I'm so tired of looking at this wall. I'm breaking free. I'm gonna do my thing. Baby, won't you come with me? I'm gonna do my thing.
So far, no shocky.
No, the lights go out. So
Huh?
this is like the main
Yep.
circuit here for all the 12 volt. So these crimped on connectors, if you just take
I don't know.
a pair of pliers, take a pair of pliers like these and squeeze them. You can basically undo the crimp on the connectors. They didn't use a very good crimper when they built this, so it was fairly easy to do. So we took out the wire that had the
fan.
fan.
The other wire goes to this light out here. So, and that one, who knows, probably goes to the front of the camper or to the back. I have no idea. Just know for sure it goes to this one. Yeah, see, light comes back on. And you're getting a good shot of back of Jim's head.
So the fan is unwired now. So here's the white for the fan. Here's the black for the fan.
Okay.
So those two are good to go now. And when we put our new one in, we'll just have to connect it here.
Right.
And this wire's got a brown for the black, and of course the white is just white. So now we can actually go outside, take the screws off, get the old die core off, which I think is going to be the hardest part of this whole project, and see if we can go from there.
Okay.
So we're going to take it out of the box here to see what comes with it.
Okay. You might want to flip the light on so we can see. It's a little dark.
Look, we have a set of hardware, which we'll need outside.
You can't see it, all you can see is your fingers. There you go. Okay.
Some wire connectors,
Some instructions,
instructions,
a manual, and a lid. Box. It's in there secure. Okay, now you should be able to get it one side at least. Voila. That was if you have the deeper. Is that what that's for?
What's the difference? Trim ring.
But ours isn't
I know. It's
that low. Does that mean you have to cut the trim ring, or you use the old trim ring?
I don't know.
A lot of I don't knows. Oh, it's definitely a bigger fan.
Bigger fan. Looks like it hangs down quite a bit more than ours. Here's the wiring.
Look, there's a...
Control.
We didn't buy the control though.
That's for the, remote, I'm sure.
Right, we didn't want the remote.
We didn't want the remote. Let's take a quick look. Show you a comparison. Here's the size of the trim rings. They either all have to cut this new one down so it only hangs down this far, or we're going to try it's not going to fit.
Man.
Okay.
But some people said it would fit.
So I think we're going to have to cut down this trim ring to this size, which would be somewhat of a problem for us as we don't have a jigsaw.
This is the question. Is it going to hang down? Our hole is.
Yeah.
We may be able to try to jiggle it in there. It's going to hang down farther.
It's going to sit on the roof. Here's where it sits on the roof, though.
Okay.
So
you're not going to know until you get the other fan out how much difference it is. The hole's still the same.
looks like from the roof down to the bottom of the fan, you're looking at roughly 2.5 inches. Let me see what ours measures.
Well, you can't see because you can't get all the way up to the roof.
I can't get my tape measure up there. Well, I can get it there. Ours measures 1 3/4 inches.
It's going to hang down.
So it's going to hang down a little bit further. What, 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah, so you may have to build something around it. A little bit of a frame. But there's a good thing for that. I may actually be able to get a pillow thing to stick up in there when it's cold.
Well, it's going to hang down further, not.
No, but the space is still. Oh, okay. Guess scratch that.
So anyway,
I was trying to think of something positive.
we will make it work so we won't have to cut our trim ring down as far. This is only for our 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches.
We may still be able to get it on.
The wind is so strong that all the audio in this next section here will have to be dubbed. But I can show you, kind of tell you what the steps are up here on the roof. The first step is to remove this. We had a Maxxair brand vent cover. We didn't have a Maxxair vent, but Maxxair sells a vent cover that you can buy separate. And part of the reason we bought a Maxxair vent was we thought we could reuse this cover on our vent. And the first step is to remove it. There was 2 screws holding each clip that had to be removed, and they were just as simple to take the screw off. We find out later that this vent cover we could not reuse. The Maxxair, they sell 3 different types of vent covers. This one was for just a replacement or just a generic vent cover for any exhaust fan, except for their new exhaust fans, of course. Once the vent cover was removed, you can see how dusty the old fan had gotten in the short amount of time we've been out in the California desert.
Well, some of it was smoke damage.
And some of that may have been smoke damage. There were a lot of wildfires here last year, so it just kind of looked bad. The old die-core was still soft, which was good because it sat out in the sun for basically a couple of years. And so it really wasn't that hard to remove. But that's the next step, is to remove the die-core that the factory put on it. And you can see I removed that section of die-core right there. And now we can begin to actually try to get the fan up. I did buy one of these, it's called a painter's tool, and it's really handy. I've used it quite often. It's got a sharp edge to it, a prying edge, a scraper. You can use it as a scraper. It's got all kinds of little handy gadget tools you can on it, and I really like it. You want this as clean as possible. Your new fan has got a seal along that edge, so all that old die core there has to come off. All that old sealant, all the old putty tape, that all needs to be removed. You need to make it as clean as possible, just so you don't have a bad or a lump or anything which would cause a leak in the future. But it came off fairly easy. I know the trailer was probably built in 2 years ago, 2018, so maybe 3 years. So it's actually nice that it came up that good. And here it is after I've scraped for about a couple of hours. I used charcoal fluid. I was in a store and I was going to buy some solvent, and another customer told me, hey, charcoal fluid is about half the price and it works just as good. So I went and found some charcoal fluid. Here's Michelle taking down the tools that I don't need. I brought the fan up to the roof, and the next step will be to I wanted to dry fit it just to make sure that it's going to fit in the hole correctly. So that's our next step. The first thing you have to do, Michelle just handed me some putty tape. You're going to put putty tape either around the outside of the edges of the hole or on the bottom edge of the fan, so that when you push it down, the putty tape is really what seals it for you. The die core is just an extra layer of protection. Don't count on the die core. This putty tape is really what seals the vent to the roof. And there's our old vent cover. You can see that it's just not going to fit over top of it. That's kind of a disappointment for us. But once you put the putty tape around the outside edges, you want to pre-drill the holes. And in this case, the Maxxair had dimples where they were telling you to pre-drill and then screw it down where the dimples were. So they kind of guided you and told you where to put the holes. Now I was kind of surprised the front edge of it only had 2 places to screw it down, and the other sides had 3 or 4. So I added a couple of extra screws in the front of it. That's where most of your wind pressure is going to be. So basically you just pre-drill your holes and screw it down to the roof. Now these modern roofs are made out of like aluminum substructure up there, or maybe a thin sheet metal. I'm not really sure if it's metal or aluminum, but you'd have to pre-drill them, and then you have to use the screws that came with it if they are sheet metal screws. A regular wood screw is not going to help you too much up here with this. So after the die core is down, we head back in to finish off the installation from the inside of the camper.
I'm going to test it.
You got to turn it on now.
That doesn't look easy. I'd never be able to turn it on if it's that hard. The edge cramming ends here.
Uh-oh, can we get this off?
What did you find out there? Did you think it's
There's
something?
2, I don't know why they put them in, maybe to make the fan not turn or something.
You want to show in your hand? Move, open your hand.
2 of those are the packing
Clips
clips or something.
were in there, so when you tested it with the wire, it wouldn't do anything.
I still don't know why it won't go. Can't turn the thing.
Are you trying to make this turn? This thing?
Yes.
Pop it down. And it turns.
You have to pop it down to make it turn?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see any in the instructions that said to do that, but that's okay.
Okay.
Can you lift the lid?
What am I trying to lift? What lid?
The lid, so you can vent and turn it on.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah, it's working. Okay.
Yeah. Just don't lift it too high because there's a huge windstorm outside right now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, there's a piece of foam in there.
Yeah, it says there's another. That was the other thing I seen in the picture. Those were insect barriers. So insects didn't get. They called those insect barriers. Oops.
Trying to read the thing. Auto, on and off, and something else.
Is that the wind?
Can you hit the on button?
Not really. I can't reach it. You're in the way. Why don't you hook it up and see what it does? Like literally.
And you go. The wires are all screwed up now. I don't know if it's really connected, but we'll try.
Now the light's back here. This one out. Now they're back on. We have success.
That long.
Just remember, you have that thing that shoved all the way up in there. The cover.
Okay, so now I guess I need to push these wires up in here.
Up in the top.
Where does this trim ring go?
Up and through there. That's what is so complicated. And the trim ring goes right up in there with that, so
I know.
how do you not pinch one of the wires? Very carefully. Okay, we got all the wires up there. Now, the trim ring, which obviously is going to have to be cut. Yeah, I think it was pushed back behind. Up in there. All the way around.
So how do we know how this can go?
Probably the same as the other one I took off. Why is it going farther in the front and not the back?
See, not even straight.
Okay, so that big thing needs to be the size of that small one. So that's your trim piece.
Yeah, I think they call it a beauty ring or something like that.
Beauty ring. Beauty ring. I know we have markers, I just don't know if they're in the white thing, the white box, or down there.
Up here.
So how are you going to cut these?
I don't know yet.
I think we need to go get a saw.
It's 1.5 inches.
Okay, so that big one is how much? Which is not level, so I mean it's not straight across. It's all over the place.
This one, or they cut 1.5 inches all the way around. This one. This is a multi-tool type tool that we have. It's real small. You can chuck any type of like a hacksaw blade, reciprocating saw blade into it, and it's just a handheld saw. You can chuck, you know, something into it, and it's real small.
And so far it seems to be cutting.
And it's cutting this fairly good. If I can cut it straight is going to be the key. I should have marked it.
I like your workbench.
Yeah, I have no workbench.
Yeah, you have no workbench. So we're going to use the other vent beauty thing to make a straight edge so that when he's cutting it goes straight, and I'm going to help him here. Voila! 2 pieces.
Shorten trim ring.
Okay, so you're just going to take your sanding block around it and smooth it off. Okay, we'll see you in the camper. Oh yeah, it fits. I'd screw that back one in first.
Which back one?
One by your hand. I just give you a little coaching that you don't need.
Okay, here's the completed fan. I got the trim ring screwed on and completed, and let's see if it works. See how much quieter it is versus the other fan? It's a night and day difference.
Plus the size.
Yeah, it's moving a lot of air, you can feel it.
The other fan was so small, the blades. And this one's a good 1-inch blade. Not more.
There's a completed fan. Fits in there pretty nice. The trim ring, we measured the old one, cut it the same length, and that seemed to work just fine. And just screwed it on real easy.
So I'm cooking you some ribs.
Rib sounds good.
Okay, so
There it is on high. High setting is still quieter than the other fan we had. Put it up on. Just to show you, there's a clean X-Air on the fan. So the fan is completed, it's up, and it seems to work just fine. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching.